Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life, you better do the damn thing right.
Welcome guys back to the Shoebender podcast. So glad to have you guys back. We got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about today. It's gonna be lots of fun. So with that being said, we'll jump right to it. We're gonna jump straight into NBA basketball. And then the NBA playoffs have been getting a little crazy. Well, at least two series have. The other two, you could really tell who the really the best team is, and it's not really honestly, it's not really a competition, but you still watch because anything can happen. Anything can happen in these playoffs. The one good thing I can say about these playoffs is that every single one of them are a series because the road team has won in each one of these series. Actually, I'm lying, but it's all good. It's all good. We'll talk about that here soon. But thankfully, there's no sweeps in this round that's coming up. So let's check this out. So in the West, we have the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks going at it, which they are 2-1 right now. Dallas got a win at home. Phoenix is one of those teams that hasn't lost at home, so that's why I said I was lying. But Dallas wins at home, which brings that series to 2-1. And this is one of those series I was talking about. It's really not a series, honestly, because with Phoenix, all you literally have to worry about is Luka. You don't have to worry about nobody else besides Luka. And it shows. It shows Brunson had a good game last game, so that's why they won. And they just played really good at home. Dallas always plays really good at home. You're supposed to play really good at home. But you need to play good on the road as well to win in the playoffs. You can't just be winning at home. It don't work like that. And Phoenix is just, you could literally just tell they're the way better team. They really are as a team. You have to worry about Booker, and then you have to worry about CP. And then you got Ayton just showing up out of nowhere. Well, I mean, he's been showing up this whole season, but if you haven't been watching this as a whole season, you wouldn't know who Ayton was. You got Crowder hitting some three-pointers. Not all the time, obviously, but he be hitting them. And I still got Phoenix winning that series. It's not that entertaining. Honestly, it's really not. But like I said, anything can happen. So we still watch. They play again tonight. They play Game 4 tonight. So we'll see what happens there. They're playing at Dallas. This would be awesome if Dallas could get a win because now you really apply pressure on Phoenix. But I still got Phoenix winning, at least tonight. Staying in the West, this is probably one of the most entertaining series that's going on. The good thing is that each conference has a really good series going on, at least one, and it's the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. Golden State won last night, which puts them up 2-1, and I mean they won like decisively, man. They tapped that ass. It wasn't even close. You had Poole going. I mean, at one point they had I've seen the stat that they put up, and literally there was 5 players from Golden State that were gonna hit over 20, which is crazy. But it's understandable. Like I said in my previous podcast, Golden State has done it before. They got the recipe on how to win championships, and they've won 3. They play really good team basketball, and that's what makes them even more difficult because then you have to worry about the whole team, not just one player. And Memphis, they're just that young lion trying. They're trying their absolute best to try to keep up with this team, but it's hard when you don't have the playmakers and the snipers that Golden State has. Brooks is a big sniper for Memphis, but he was out this game because of that flagrant 2 that he got on Peyton. Me personally, if he got suspended for that, Draymond should have got suspended for his, but it's the Golden State Warriors. You know how it goes. The NBA always helps them out. That's just the way it goes. It's like if LeBron was playing right now. LeBron's going to get those kind of calls. He's going to get those players suspended. But that's different. That's LeBron, not a franchise. LeBron is the franchise. But yeah, me personally, the thoughts on that play, if Gary Payton wouldn't have stuck out his arm like that, like he stuck his arm out, but the thing that was just so freak about it is that like his arm locked. So instead of him like sliding, like usually someone would, they'd slide to break their fall. You still stick your arm out, but you're gonna, you usually slide. His like locked, so like instead of him sliding, like he like went back in, and that's what made it look so bad. Because me personally, it's not like Brooks, like he didn't do what Draymond did, pull a guy from the air. He just smacked him in the head. That's all he did. To me, it wasn't that dirty. People would love to call it a dirty play, but he literally, like when Draymond did that foul, you guys were talking about like, oh, the league's soft, the league's soft. It's the same thing with Peyton. He just got smacked in the head hella hard. He just landed wrong. That was the only thing wrong with that thing. He just landed wrong. I seen dudes get smacked in the head all the time in the NBA when they're up in the air. It's all right, but like I said, it's the way he fell. He tried to catch himself, but his arm locked on him, and bam. So it made it look a lot worse than what it really was. And like I said, let's just be real. Like Golden State, they're just a way better team. Ja, he's a young superstar. He's up and coming. He's coming for real. He's definitely made his name in these playoffs. The thing is that he's just a one-trick pony right now. All he could do right now is just go downhill. If he's at the 3-point line, they don't guard him because he's not a threat from 3-point. You don't have to guard him from there. If he makes it, you take it. It's all good. We'll live with you taking those kind of shots. It's kind of like when LeBron in 07 played the Spurs in the finals. They just let LeBron they let him shoot jumpers all day. They're like, oh, you want to shoot? Go for it. We don't care. But if you try to come in the paint, that's different. And I feel like that's how Golden State's really guarding Memphis right now. They're pretty much just saying, Ja, you could take all the shots you want, man. But once you come into this paint, it's going to be a different story. And then once he drives in, he's either going to go, over the layup, either yeet it on you or go for the layup with them special layup packages that he got, man, because he's got some great layup packages, man. The thing is, when he dishes it out to a 3-point shooter, he's honestly only got 2, mainly 1 right now, because like I said, Brooks was out, which is Bane. And then Jackson, he's been hitting threes, but I really hate the fact that Jackson's out of the 3-point line. But it's like, look, I get you can make them, but we don't need that right now. We need you down low. I really like the lineup when they have Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson down low because you got length. Pause. You got length. You got size. You could outboard these guys. But you got these guys, you got Jackson always out at the 3-point line. You're not going to out-rebound Golden State like that. Because Draymond's a great rebounder. If that's one thing he is, he's a great rebounder. He's not only just the best defender that Golden State's got, he's their best rebounder. And now you got Wiggins also too, going in there and getting some boards too, doing all the little work. Which people forget that Wiggins was he was a first-round pick. He was number 1. He was supposed to be that guy, but he wasn't. He struggled to be the number 1 option. He kind of got put in the same situation when at Golden State. They kind of got lucky with him because he's another Andre Iguodala. It's like, we don't need you to score, bro. Just do everything else because you're athletically gifted. You got hops. He's got everything else besides that being the number 1 scoring option. And Golden State nailed it again. Because people forget that Iguodala was the number 1 option for the 76ers and then the Denver Nuggets, and he just wasn't that good. He couldn't get it done. So you pretty much got 4 All-Stars on that team instead of 3. And they never get the credit. They never really get the credit for it. And they should, because these guys were at one point, they were supposed to be franchise players, but they just weren't good enough. And so you get a steal with these guys, and you see what happens with Golden State. They're just really good at that shit, man. Their GM, whoever, I think is Bob something, he's really good, man. But yeah, that series, like it's fun to watch because I'm really rooting for Ja. I really am. I'm really rooting for the Grizzlies. But it's just hard when you see Golden State hit on all cylinders like that. You could just tell the moment was way too big for them last night at Oracle. They weren't ready, and they got punched right in the mouth, just mockles straight down the barrel, and they didn't recover. They started off really good, but after that first quarter, it pretty much downward spiraled for them, man, and they weren't able to get back. There's also some controversy going on with Jordan Poole and how he reached, and Josh saying that he broke the code or whatever. To me personally, that wasn't a dirty ass play. It did look like Poole was going for the ball, but then Poole was like, "Come on, bro, you shouldn't have to grab someone's knee like that. If you're going for the ball, you're pretty much grazing the knee. You're not literally grabbing it." So, but to me, it's still not a dirty play. I mean, they were just getting their ass beat, man. That's just what happened. The Grizzlies were just getting their ass beat, and if we're being real, he just checked out. He just got frustrated. You got this crazy ass crowd going after you. You look up, you're getting your ass beat. That's just the way it goes, man. So that's what's going down in the Western Conference. We'll switch over to the Eastern Conference. We got Miami and Philadelphia playing tonight. Miami's got the 2-1 lead. This is also another series that I was talking about that you could just tell one team's way better than the other. Everybody's going to freak out because Embiid came back and they won. But to me, that's just not good enough. It's not. Miami's just a way better team, and you could just tell. They're a way better team. Harden isn't playing like Harden. You literally don't have to worry about him. So you literally just have to worry about Embiid. And we'll see what happens tonight. I still got Miami winning. I really do. I got them winning tonight. But we'll see what happens because Embiid is still hurt. He got smacked in the face by Adebayo this last game. Of course, Embiid, he went over dramatic, fell down, took his mask off. It's like, bro, he's Embiid. It's hard for me to take him serious, man, because he's literally just an actor. Like, he's really good at acting. I didn't like seeing that. Like Bam didn't hit you that hard, and that's why you have that face protector. So if you're still getting hurt with that face protector, then you probably shouldn't be playing, because that's what that protector's there for. So when you get smacked, nothing happens. But that's Embiid. He's always over dramatic. That's why I just don't root for the guy, and I hope that they lose tonight or today. But Miami's just a way better team. They really are. If you've been watching this series, you could tell they're the way better team. And I mean, they only lost by like 10 points this last game. So it's not like they got smacked. Miami's a huge problem, especially defensively. And then they're just like Golden State, man. If them shooters get going, like Hero, Duncan, Butler, yeah, they got some shooters on that team, man. And if they get going, it's a very, very long night, because they're going to be making all these buckets, and then they're just going to be clamping on you on defense, which is probably the most frustrating part. The good thing about these playoffs, too, though, is that the refs have really been letting them go at it. They're not calling a lot of calls that they would usually call, because you see these guys as soon as they go up for a layup or something, they get up and they're all freaking out on the ref, and the refs are just kind of like, play ball, dude. I don't care what you're saying, play ball. So that's been really nice on the refs. But we'll move on to Milwaukee and Boston, which is probably one of the best series out. To me personally, it probably is the best one. Just how physical these games have been. Milwaukee leads 2-1. They won last night in Milwaukee, and man, it really came down to the wire. There's some controversy on this game as well. Milwaukee had a really good hold, but pretty much throughout the whole game until the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum really did not have a good game at all. Neither did Brown. I mean, Tatum at one point, I think he was like 0 for like 7 or something like that from 3. He was just really struggling. But I mean, you're supposed to. I mean, you have Giannis guarding you. Then you got these other guys that could switch on you. Like I said, every team that's left, they're all deep. They're every single one of them, from the first player all the way to the 13th or 12th player. They're all good. That's why they're in the playoffs. That's why they're in this round. and it's only gonna get better the further you go. It's only gonna get harder. Pause. But yeah, we were watching that game last night, and they were going really back and forth in the very last, pretty much the last minute of the game. At one point, I thought Boston was going to take off with it, but you had Drew Holiday come in and pretty much save the day. And then the most controversial play that happened last night was everybody was saying that Marcus Smart should have shot 3 free throws. Me personally, I don't think so, and the reason why he didn't get that call is because he's known for flopping. He is. Anybody that knows Marcus Smart or has watched the Boston Celtics, that have watched his team, they know that Marcus Smart, he flops a lot. He really does. Like, honestly, like, really dramatically. Like, I get you flopping, but this dude's, like, super dramatic with it, man. And, you know, people are going to say, oh, it's because it was a rip through and blah, 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 whatever. No, it wasn't no rip through. When they called the foul, his 2 feet were still on the ground. But it happened so fast that it looked like, you know, when you watch it in real time, it looked like he was able to swing up and get that ball out. But it wasn't a shooting foul, man. I mean, at what? He still got 2 free throws out of it. Made the first one. On the second one, he tried to miss. He tried to miss on purpose to try to get the rebound to win the game, basically, to give his team a chance to win. And he actually did a really good job, man. If you're a Milwaukee fan, your thing got tight, bro. I mean, it got tight. It got tight when he missed that, because when he missed it, he got the perfect bounce to the point where he was able to catch it and throw it back up. The only thing is that he went too strong, went clearly to the other side, and then it got tapped in, and then it freaking pretty much rolled out. It rolled out, and then when they finally were able to tap the ball in and it actually went in, it was already too late. The game was over. So, I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, you got excited right there, me explaining it. It was a good game. If there's a series to watch, it's this one right here. It's the Milwaukee and the Celtics. The Milwaukee Bucks. Man, this is such a good series. If you don't know which one to choose, if you're just getting into sports and you just really don't know which one to watch, I'll definitely watch the Bucks and the Celtics series. Start off with that one. You can watch the other ones, but this is probably, to me personally, this is the best series right now. And it was just really good. It was just such a really good game. It was very exciting. I'm rooting for the Bucks. I want them to defend, because there's no other team out there that I really want to win besides, I would like to. It would be nice to see Ja get up there, but I just think that team's way too young. They're just way too young. They're inexperienced. And in these playoffs, you need experience. You really do, because that's all that's left is experienced teams. The only ones that really don't have no experience is Dallas and Memphis. They're the only ones. Phoenix was in the finals last year. The Bucks obviously won it last year. The Celtics, I think they've been to like 3 Eastern Conference Finals in a row. Philadelphia, we know about their playoff struggles. And then, of course, Golden State. They're obviously the most prestige, the most titles right now left in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But they play again tomorrow night. I still got Milwaukee winning it because they are the defending champs. So they're the champs until they get knocked off. So until someone knocks off the champs, I'm going to keep on riding with the Bucks. But like I said, that's the best series going out right now. So after basketball, we'll stick to basketball, because the Lakers actually they're having some head coaching interviews. Recently they had Terry Stotts. If you don't know who that is, he used to coach for the Blazers. Me personally, whack. I don't want him as our coach, man. I really don't want him as a Lakers coach. But who I was really excited about was that they interviewed Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson. If you don't know who Mark Jackson is, besides the fact that he calls NBA games, he's an announcer, stuff like that. Mark Jackson is actually the one that started the whole Golden State thing. He was there when they drafted Steph, Clay, and Draymond. So he pretty much started that team. Steve Kerr just took it over and took it to a different level, because he's won championships before. He played with the Jordan Bulls. He played with the Spurs. He won championships with both teams, so he knows how to win. Which Mark Jackson, he got close to winning when he was a player with Indiana, but they just couldn't get it done. But he was the most exciting interviewer that I've seen that we interviewed. And that's the coach that I want. I feel like he'd fit perfect. I feel like he'd fit perfect with the Lakers, man. We'll see what that front office does. I mean, me personally, that's who I want. So that's probably not who they're gonna get. They're probably gonna end up getting some random ass dude. They've been hiring. I mean, they've been interviewing like, I want to say like second tier coaches, but like they've been interviewing assistant coaches. It's like, why are you interviewing assistant coaches? You need a guy, first of all, that LeBron respects. If LeBron don't respect this guy, it's over. That's what it is. It's over. You can't have a coach that LeBron doesn't have respect for. And honestly, me personally, I don't think he'd be cool with Terry Stotts. But with Mark Jackson, that's different. I know he does have a say in it. There's a reason why they call it Lee GM. But we'll see what they do. But I really hope, literally every day I just look at my phone and hope that I get that notification saying the Lakers have hired Mark Jackson, because I'll freaking be over the roof, man. I'll freak out. So we'll see what they do in the front office and who they hire. I still trust them because, I mean, Rob Pelinka, he's done a good job, basically. Last season, the only thing that really didn't make sense is just how they used Westbrook, honestly, because I feel like he showed his flashes, but he never really played like Westbrook. Like, he was just off the whole season. So we'll see what happens there. But I still trust in them because I got the ultimate trust in LBJ, man. I know that he'll figure it out. So we'll see what happens there. But now we will switch gears. And we'll switch gears to the UFC, which had a great card last night. They really did. There's some fireworks in that card, man. We'll start off with Ferguson and Chandler. Man, that was such a good fight, man. They started off throwing both of them. They each caught each other. Chandler wobbled Ferguson for a bit, and then Ferguson fired back and wobbled Chandler. And, the first round ended on the ground. They were both hyped up. They both, high-fived each other, basically. It was, the intensity, all that stuff was just there, man. It was there. It was a great kickoff to, pretty much to the main card, because the other first couple fights in the main card, they weren't that good. But this one definitely lived up to the hype. It really did. And so the second round started, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it. And if you haven't seen it, Chandler just knocked Ferguson out so bad with a kick to the face. Just mocos, bro. Just And I mean, that's just disrespectful, man. Like, I'd rather get knocked out with a hand than a kick to the face, bro. I mean, damn. Like, I've seen UFC fighters get knocked out. Like, me personally, I felt like one of the worst ones was when Jorge Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren, when he just gave him that knee straight to the middle of his head. Marcos, because he legit was out. Like, Ben was out. He didn't know what happened. He was just, like, looking around like, what the and honestly, that's the way it was for Ferguson. Like, Ferguson was out for probably, like, 2 minutes. Just, like, legit, like, cold out. Like, he wasn't moving. He wasn't anything, man. Like, he was just out. And then finally, he was able to get up, so that, that was nice to see him still, be okay. Obviously, he wasn't okay, but he wasn't hurt enough to the point where, like, they had to take him out in the stretcher or something, which you never want to see in any sport. In any sport, you never want to see someone leaving in the stretcher. But, yeah, Chandler straight caught him perfectly with the up kick. Just boom, straight. Like, man, just look it up. If you haven't seen it, look it up. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, man. And yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad. Chandler, of course, he got on the mic, gave an electrifying interview. He called out Conor McGregor, which to me, honestly, like, I like Chandler. I really do. I really do like Chandler. but I just don't. I feel like the 2 times that he's won, he's honestly kind of just, he got lucky, man. Because I mean, when he fought Oliveira, he clipped him, but he couldn't finish him, and then he got clipped and got finished. And when he fought Justin Gaethje just pieced him up. Like, it wasn't even close. He pieced him up. I mean, it was bad. So me personally, I felt like whoever won out of this fight was gonna keep their job, is gonna stay in the UFC, and whoever lost is gonna get kicked out. Ferguson, I mean, he was talking a lot of shit about the UFC during all his pre-fight interviews. Like, just, he wasn't really talking shit. He was just being honest. Honestly, he was just being honest. He was saying what was in his heart. But if you're not that top tier guy in the UFC, if you're not that main guy, that main attraction, the one that's always bringing in fans, Dana ain't gonna keep you around, man. He's just not. And so we'll see what happens there in the aftermath of that fight. But man, it was just hella devastating to see Ferguson get knocked out like that, because I like both guys. I wanted both of them to eat. Whether whoever won, I would have been okay with. And it ended up being Chandler. So we'll see what happens there. He called out Conor McGregor, just like everybody else does, because, you know, they want to get that feria. So we'll see what happens. That'd actually be a dope fight to watch, because they both like to stand and bang. Pause. They like to sit there and throw haymakers at each other. So that'd be a good fight to watch. The fight after that was Rose Namajunas and then Carla Esparza. And damn, that was probably one of the most boring fights I've ever seen in my whole life, bro. Like, for real. That fight was so boring, man. It was so boring. The whole entire time, Rose just, she was scared of this girl, man. Let's be real. If we're being real, Rose, she's terrified of this girl. She fears her. Everybody has a boogeyman, man. Everybody has someone that they're just like terrified of, that they don't want to be locked in a cage or anywhere with this kind of person. Carla is that person for Rose. Because the whole time Rose was, you could just tell, man. And then she was sitting there trying to tell herself, like, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. The whole entire time. Since she was walking out of her locker room, that's what she was telling herself. Well, she usually does that. But, because I've seen a lot of her fights, and she usually does that. But she doesn't do it as much as she was doing it last night. Like, she literally did it as soon as she walked out from her locker room, all the way till she got into the ring. Even when she was in the ring, she kept on telling herself, I'm the best. And yeah, she just didn't do enough, man. Carla obviously did what she was supposed to do, and that's what scared Rose, was take her down. And as soon as she took her down, you could tell Rose was like, the good thing about Rose is that you've seen her defense get a lot better, because last time when they fought in the Ultimate Fighter in the last, you know, to see who was going to be the strawweight champion or whatever, when Carla would take her down, then Rose, she didn't have the defense that she has now. This time when Carla would take her down, Rose would actually pop right back up. She never let her, she never had a lot of ground control in this fight. But those takedowns were enough to beat Rose. That's the thing. Because Rose, I think she landed 3 more significant strikes than her, and she landed 3 more total strikes than her. But what helped out Carla was those takedowns. And what honestly kind of irritated me is that Rose literally took her down perfectly at the very end of the 5th round, when there was like a minute left, or like it was under a minute left, and Rose shot and straight up just took her down with ease. I mean, with ease. It was effortlessly, and it was beautiful the way she took her down. It's like, why did you not do that throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole fight? You don't have to sit there and engage with her. Just take her down. If she was just able to take her down 2 more times, she retains that title. But now she lost it. She lost to Carla because of those takedowns. And Carla, honestly, you could tell she was just kind of like sitting there waiting, like, dude, are we gonna fight, or are you just gonna keep on just dancing back and forth? Because that's honestly what she was doing. She was just doing her thing, like, and then she would sit there and stop. And then she would start bouncing back and forth again. It's like, you're not doing anything. You're not. she didn't do enough to get the judges to sway her way. It was a split decision, which kind of threw me off, because usually when it's a split decision, they give it to the champion. They don't give it to the other person, which kind of just threw me off. It was just kind of like, damn, like, all right. But if you were watching that fight, you would understand why she won, because of those takedowns. She took Rose down. I think it was either 4 times or 3 times. It was one of the two. But that's just what it was. So now Carla is the champion again, and now if Rose wants to get that title, she has to fight her again or wait till she loses again. That's just the way it goes, man. And it was just really shitty to see her lose her title like that, because it was a horrible performance. Like, when the fight was done, literally the whole arena started booing them. Like, it was bad, dude. They were booing them like loudly. So we'll see what happens in the aftermath of that fight. Maybe they rematch. Me personally, if I was Carla, I wouldn't rematch her. I already beat your ass twice. Why would I rematch you? Honestly, obviously you're scared of me, so I ain't gonna rematch you. I got other fish to fry, man. Later on down the road, yeah, we'll see what's up. But as a rematch, like, me personally, I wouldn't be interested, because she's already beat you twice. There's really no point to rematch. It's not like there's a rubber match or anything. So that's what happened in the co-main event. And then we move on to the main event, which was Justin Gaethje against Charles Oliveira. If you didn't know, if you weren't really keeping up with the MMA world leading up to this fight, Charles Oliveira did get stripped of his title because he came in half a pound overweight, which caused a lot of controversy, because he wasn't the only fighter that came in over half a pound over. The UFC even gave him an hour to try to lose that half pound. Still didn't work out. There's been a lot of sketchy stuff surrounding what was going on with the scales in this past event, which I think is just horrible, because to me personally, I see it as a title defense. And so that was a controversy leading up to the fight, was the whole scales. Everybody was tripping about it, the scales. And I would be too, man. The guy literally got stripped because of it, and that's not cool. And there's no way, I was talking to my roommate about it. I was telling him, I would understand, like, if Charles Oliveira had like a track record of not making weight, but he's always made weight his whole entire career. So that makes absolutely no sense. That just, especially when he has a belt, that he's just like, it's okay, I'll weigh over. There's just no way, man. There's no way. This guy he's always had a great track record of making weight. It's just sketchy, man. It's just super sketchy what was going on there. I don't know what's going on behind those scenes. It is a business. It is corporate. So you never know. But it didn't matter, because Oliveira won. And he won. He dominated. He did get dropped twice. I'm not going to lie. Justin Gaethje did catch him twice. One of them was like a delayed knockout. Like, he caught him really good. And then, like, Oliveira was like, whoop. And then he fell to the ground. Excuse me. On his own, though. On his own. Like, he didn't like wobble to the ground. Like, he kind of just fell down and got like in a jiu-jitsu position to just try to get himself back. And I did talk about that on my last podcast, that I was like, if they stand and bang, I would give that to Gaethje. I honestly would. But Gaethje messed up, ended up going to the ground. And we all know Charles Oliveira, he's a monster on the ground. Black belt, like extremely high level jiu-jitsu. Excuse me, sorry, I have something stuck in my throat. But he's just super high level grappler, man, and it showed last night. As soon as they went to the ground, you could tell Gaethje was like fearing for his life. He was trying everything he could to get out of there, and it just wouldn't work. So Charles Oliveira was able to get him in a rear naked chokehold and tapped him out, just like Gaethje lost to Khabib, the exact same way. And yeah. Excuse me, I have something stuck in my throat, man. This is horrible. But yeah, Charles Oliveira was able to get that win. And just beautiful groundwork, man. I got excited. As soon as they went to the ground, I got super excited because I already knew it was going to happen. And like I said, you could really see like the fear in like Gaethje's eye, like, gosh damn it, not again. Not the same thing, not the one thing that we talked about in camp. Like, you could just tell. Like, he was just so upset with himself, which he should be, because it's like you've lost the title bout twice with the same damn submission. You keep on giving them your back, and they get you. It's over. So that's what happened at the UFC 274? Yep, 274. We'll see what happens there. With the aftermath after all these fights. Obviously, Charles is number one contender for his title, which me personally, I shouldn't have think he lost it, but the rules are the rules. And he's obviously going to keep on dominating that division. I don't see anybody beating him anytime soon. He's just too good. The only way you're going to beat Charles is if you knock him out, because you're not going to beat him grappling. So Charles is just lucky he hasn't got hit with the perfect punch yet, which obviously he's able to get hit because, I mean, he's been stunned. He got stunned twice in this previous fight. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't see him losing anytime soon. He's just that good. Which will move on to probably my favorite one that I've been wanting to talk about, and that's Canelo losing, man. So I'm pretty sure everybody gets on the internet, so you saw that Canelo Alvarez lost last night to Bivol, and it was just awesome. It was a masterpiece by Bivol. He did such a good job, man. He really did. Or Bivol, my bad. Dimitri. I've been following Dimitri. I've known about Dimitri. I know that he was gonna be a problem, and he just straight up put an ass whipping on Canelo Alvarez. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna be honest. He whipped that dude's ass, man, and I was super happy about it. I've been getting a lot of slack about it because I am Mexican, and they all freak out. Oh, you're supposed to be rooting for the raza. You're supposed to be, nah, fuck all that, bro. I don't root for cheaters, bro. And that's what Canelo Alvarez is. He's a cheater. He's been popped for PEDs, and his trainer, that Reynoso guy, he's literally been popped for, he's had 3 fighters, not 1, 3, get popped for steroids as well. So I do not like that, Cam, man. I do not support cheaters, especially in boxing, bro. And it's such a dangerous sport. You're over here shooting these guys up, man. That is not cool. I'll never root for Canelo. I'll never root for that team ever. So him losing was just like the cherry on top last night. Like, I loved it. I really did. Because I don't like that. I don't like cheaters, and I'll never root for them, man. And Dimitri, he did a great game plan, man. He showed his skills. And the thing is, too, is that, like, people are making it seem like that, I'm not saying Canelo sucks. He's a great boxer. I mean, he's got the skills, man. He's a great boxer. I just won't root for him because he's a cheater, and he's been caught cheating. It's like Tyson Fury. He's been caught cheating before. That's why I can't put you up there. You have all the skills, but you've been caught for cheating. So I can't put you up there in that higher echelon, man. And I think his biggest issue was that he's over here trying to move up too much. Why are you running? Why are you trying to move up weight so close? There's a bunch of great fighters at the weight class you were at, and literally there was some news that came out that you turned down a $100 million fight with Errol Spence. Why? You're supposed to be the best, right? You ran away from a weight class that's the best right now, where you got Spence, you got Crawford, you got Benavidez, you got the Charlo brothers. There's a lot of guys that he avoided that he didn't fight, because he fought Triple G at when he was 38, and that was enough for him, and you lost that first fight. So you should be, he should have 3 losses, not just 2. And we're being real. The second fight with Triple G, you could toss that one up in the air, but that first one, he got his ass beat. He did, and everybody knows it. All boxing fans know it. So I just feel like that's his biggest issue, is that he tried moving up to way too fast. He was trying to prove a point. He was trying to stroke his ego. I mean, he wasn't even fighting the best fighters in those divisions anyways. He was fighting literally the lowest ranked title holder. Let's be real. But everybody hypes this dude up. Like, I get it. He's skilled. He does have amazing skill. He's a great boxer. But he's not that guy. He's really not. To me personally, he's overrated. Like I said, he's been caught for cheating. And yes, he did get caught for steroids. And I just think that's his biggest issue. There's only one guy that's done it successfully, and that was Manny Pacquiao. He's an 8 division world champ. 8 times, 8 divisions. No one will ever redo that. So we'll see here. We'll see if he stays at that fight. We'll see if he stays at that weight class. I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. Because it's only going to get harder. These guys are natural, like, light heavyweights, man. Like, that's what they naturally walk around in. This guy had to bulk up for it, because I always remind myself of what a GSP said, George St. Pierre. Back then, UFC really wanted to make a super mega fight with GSP versus Anderson Silva. And GSP said, I'll take that fight. I'll fight him. But you have to give me a whole year to train and get used to that weight. And that always sticks with me. Because it's true. These guys that's their natural weight, man. Canelo's not a natural light heavyweight, man. He's not. And it bit him in the ass last night. That's what happens, man. But Dimitri actually is a great boxer. I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, I've been watching this guy. He's a great boxer, man. And now obviously he just shot up into a superstardom. You're the guy that beat Canelo. You're the guy that beat the pound for pound best. So we'll see what the aftermath of all this stuff is. But yeah, that really made me happy seeing that dude lose last night, man. Because I honestly think that he dodged a lot of great fighters. Me personally, I think pound for pound, the best is Crawford. There's a reason why a lot of these top guys ain't calling out Crawford. They'll call everybody else out, but they ain't calling Crawford out, man. Spence keeps on saying he's gonna fight him. He ain't gonna fight him, man. He's not gonna fight him. Crawford is that dude, man. He really is. So we'll see what happens on in the boxing world after all that went down. And make sure you tune into the playoffs tonight. Like I said, there is 2 games on tonight. It is the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. And then we got the Miami Heat and the 76ers going at it again tonight. So make sure you tune in for that. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. You deserve everything and more. You deserve the world, the universe, everything. We love you. Thank you for everything you do every single day. Every single day. Every day is Mother's Day, honestly. Every day. So happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful women out there, mothers. And yes, even the little, even the dogs that have been mothers. Shout out to all y'all. Thank you. Thank you for everything you guys, you girls do, women do every single day for us. It's always appreciated. And with that being said, that will be it for this podcast. I love you guys. I really do. Keep on doing what you're doing. You'll get where you need to get to, but keep on putting in the work. All right. I know it's tough. I know it sucks, but you got to do it to get where you want to be. Okay. So I love you guys. I hope y'all had a great weekend. And like I said again, happy Mother's Day to all y'all. I love y'all. See you on the next one.
Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got